Good morning, Orange and Amber class. Today for our maths learning we are going to be describing the properties of 3D shapes. So, what does properties mean? So the properties of a shape are the things that it has. So when we are looking at 3D shapes, we look for faces, edges and vertices. Okay, so first let's think about faces. So I've got my selection of 3D objects that I found around my house. So I'm going to show you with my cube. Okay, so the faces are the flat and curved areas. You can remember these by thinking of, would you be able to draw a face on it? So here is a face of my cube, here is a face, here is a face, here is a face. So the edges are the part where the faces meet and you can run your finger along. So here are the edges. And down here, and along here, and down here, these are the edges. So next we have vertices. So vertices are where the edges meet. You might say that they're a pointy corner. They're called vertices. So here is a vertice, and here, and here, and here, and here, here. Okay, so for today's lesson you will need the objects you collected on your shape hunt yesterday. Do not worry if you could not get all of the shapes, as I'll be showing them to you as well. Some of them were a bit tricky to find, weren't they? It took me a while to find my pyramid and my cone. So if you haven't got those, that's fine, you can look at mine. If you can print the table, which is shown on the screen, if you can print that ready as well, and you're going to fill it out during the lesson. If you don't have a printer, then you can make a list in your book. So you can write the name of the shape, and then you can write faces, edges, vertices, and you can write the number of each next to them. So first we're going to look at our cube. So take the cube that you found when you went on your shape hunt yesterday. We're going to look at them together. So I've got my cube. So how many faces has our cube got? So pick up your cube and we can count the faces together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 faces. Oh, how many edges? Can you remember where the edge is? These are the edges. Okay, we're going to run our finger along and count how many edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 edges on a cube. So how many vertices? Remember they're the pointy corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 vertices on a cube. Okay, so next we're going to look at our cylinder. So find your cylinder shape. I've got mine, my Smarties tube. That's my cylinder shape. So how many faces? Now this is slightly more tricky. Have a think. How many faces do you think there are on a cylinder? So there are actually 3 faces. So here's a face and here's a face, but this is also a face. It's just a curved face. How many edges are there on a cylinder? How many edges? There are 1, 2. There are actually 2 edges on a cylinder, but they are curved edges, aren't they, rather than straight lines. How many vertices on a cylinder? There are no vertices on a cylinder. There are no pointy corners, are there? Good. So now you could see if you could work out the properties of the other 3D shapes that you have by yourself, or you can do it with me. If you want to do it by yourself, then pause the video now. Okay. Let's have a look at our pyramid. Now this one might have been tricky for you to find. It took me a while to find my pyramid. I found this in my sand, with my sand toys. Okay, so pyramid. It's a square based pyramid because I can see a square on the bottom. So let's think about the faces. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 faces. How many edges? Remember, we're going to get our finger and run our finger along the edge to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 edges. So 5 faces, 8 edges. And now how many vertices? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 vertices. Now let's think about our cuboid. Here's my cuboid shape. So how many faces does a cuboid have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 faces. How many edges? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 edges. How many vertices? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 vertices. Okay, next is our cone. Did you manage to find a cone? I found 2 cones, ice cream cones. Now I've just had to cut out a circle to stick on the bottom of my cone so that I can use it for my 3D shape work today. Okay, so faces, 2 faces. So here is a face and this is also a face. Do you remember when we were talking about our cylinder shape? That this is a face, but it's just a curved face. It's the same with a cone. So this is a face too. So how many edges do you think a cone has? It has 1 edge. Now, what about the vertices? What do you think? 1 vertex. So we've got 1 point at the top here, and we call that a vertex. Vertex. Okay, what do we have next? We have our sphere. Here's my sphere. How many faces does a sphere have? What do you think? It has 1 face, doesn't it? 1 face. How many edges? What do you think? No edges. And what about vertices? How many vertices Are there any pointy corners? No vertices on a sphere. Well done. Okay, so your independent task is really fun today. So you're going to sit with your back to your adult so that they cannot see your object. You're going to hold your object in your hand. You're going to pick one at a time, and you're going to describe your object to them so that they can guess the 3D shape. You need to tell your adult about the number of faces, edges and vertices on the shape you're holding. Then ask them if they can describe a shape for you to guess as well. So for example, if I was holding my cylinder, then I might say it has 1, 2, 3 faces. It has no vertices and it has 2 edges. Okay, so for your challenge as well, you can work out which shapes roll and which shapes stack. And you can sort them into 2 groups, can roll and can't roll. Super 3D shape work, everybody, well done.